Joining me now to talk more about this is Michael Fauntroy, professor and director of the Race, Politics, and Policy Center at George Mason University. Professor, thank you for being here. What can we expect to see from either side at the first debate?
Well, first, it's good to be back with you. In terms of the debate, I think you can expect a pretty intense exchange going in both directions. They both are trying to weaken the other, not just in terms of public policy, but also stylistically, and trying to disqualify them in terms of how the other side of voters across the country will view them. And so I expect former President Trump to come out and be very aggressive. He has regularly impugned President Biden's competency going forward, rather throughout the entire campaign. President Biden is going to have to respond to that in some kind of way and just show that he's continue to be up to the job. Conversely, there are some legitimate and fair questions to be raised about former President Trump, and I expect President Biden to be very aggressive in pushing those things too.
What kinds of things do you expect him to bring up? And do you expect, digs? Because there are lots of opportunities for them. We've got, Biden's son recent conviction, and, we've got the current president's age as well. Lots of opportunities there.
Right. Well, there are lots of opportunities. Former President Trump is just 3 years younger than President Biden, so I don't quite understand all of the fuss about President Biden's age, because he and former President Trump are essentially the same. And oh, by the way, former President Trump was recently convicted on a few dozen felony cases in New York. So there are opportunities for sort of personal critique, but both sides have to be fair on that, or be careful on that, because they're vulnerable too. So I think that former President Trump is trying to divert attention from some of his own problems by attacking President Biden, and President Biden, in terms of defending his own record and what is likely to be some substantial critiques of his own son, will try to remind voters of all of President Trump's legal troubles in the past and also going forward, because former President Trump has a number of cases in front of him.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, glad you bring that up. Do you think that's what the debate is going to center around, these kind of digs back and forth, or will there be major issues they focus on as well?
So here we get to my big problem with this event, generally speaking. It's about talking points and snippets and memes and going viral. These kinds of events are not serious discussions of public policy. And that's sort of what I'm interested in. What are your plans on particular issues? What are your positions on particular issues? We never get that kind of discussion here. And I would add, this kind of event is not in any way indicative of a way in which a president has to make decisions. And so in that regard, it's just sort of made for TV. And as a candidate, you hope to not screw it up. And you hope that the other side makes a mistake that you can take advantage of.
So it's a performative thing rather than, a real preview of what they're going to be like as an actual president.
It's completely performative. It's not, I don't want to say it's unserious or that it's not newsworthy. I just think that most voters read more into it than it really is.
Very interesting. All right. Thank you very much, Michael Fauntroy, professor and director of the Race, Politics, and Policy Center at George Mason University. Take care.
Thank you.